pick coming out from Faze Clan here because of the hero pool that they actually have, you know, being able to run Pharmacy, they can run triple tank, 2-2-2 dive. I do want to see them really flex their hero pool here and try and get Selfless to be a little bit more uncomfortable, but I mean, so far, taking a look at what they are picking up, looks like they're just going to run what they ran on Numbani.
I'm not a fan of the Tracer Pharah, actually. So I really enjoyed doing like when I was playing ranked last season and watching games, seeing Pharah Genji Tracer, and then running the solo tank, because if Pharah hits any direct rocket or hits 2 splash rockets down, you're gonna get a Genji and who's gonna get a reset off that, like a dash, 1 shuriken, dead. But the Tracer doesn't have that reset potential that a Genji does have. It doesn't have the ability to get on high grounds that you kind of maybe need on this point of Oasis. But we'll see. I mean, that's 1 direct rocket that hit Michael, and then Louis just capitalized.
Yeah, they were brought so low. Louis just on the lurk, able to clean them up. Now, ready, Faze Clan off to a much better start here on Oasis. Midnight, a little bit caught out, but he was able to take out Fact Fiction and that mech.
It's a little bit of a misplay, I think, out of Selfless to start things off, and they're still going to commit a couple of people to trying to go in just to maybe stall for time. Actually do have the point contested for them, funny enough. Even though Faze Clan picked up the initial kill, Selfless was able to get the control in their favor so far, but they haven't been able to get the kills necessarily. Shadowburn towards the high ground, already in position, should be able to rain down damage from above. As Sinatra trying to deal with him. Actually, almost 1 clip in there, and now Rockets might get cut out here, but Sinatra just can't connect the shots.
Yeah, so Carpe will fall down to Louis, but the hack comes on in, trades right on back, and the point still hasn't been taken yet. This has been such a long fight, but now Sinatra is there. He's on that Tracer, picks up his 2nd kill. That's both supports down. There's going to be no sustain for Faze Clan. They try to back out. Spree's going to be the last one to go down as he got D-Mech there, and after that, Selfless will walk away with the point.
How do you kill the enemy Zen, have a man advantage, and still not take the point? I'm really not sure. There had to have been some really individual plays of brilliance on the side of Selfless to pull that back. They're only running with 1 healer. And it was just a hack there who was trying to contest the point for the most part, and it didn't even eventually die. He's out 90% on his ultimate. Faze Clan maybe just making some slight mistakes, but I still want to see the Genji. I don't want to see the Tracer here.
This is also just very characteristic of how Selfless play, right? They can play a man down or 2 men down and just delay for as long as they can to get their DPS back out. Injustice comes on out. Shadowburn picks up 2 off of it. That's Carpe and Emong down. It's a 3-for-1 exchange. Self-destruct coming out from Spree here. Actually, it's gonna be Midnight picking up 2 with it as the resurrection does come out from Raucus.
I can hear the comms. Midnight, I got 2! And then Raucus is like, no, you don't. You don't got anything, bro. He gets the res in there. Shadowburn gets the initial, or a couple more kills after the initial barrage that came through, and Faze Clan will turn things around. But Selfless, they have Trance. They've got Visor. Only up against what? Self-destruct, which is going to be a little bit difficult, but then again, Carpe won't have the opportunity to really use his Visor unless Spree does get desuited. And without a pulse bump for Sinatra, chance of that happening should be a little bit low.
Yeah, Louis has his, and you can't heal through that. But Sinatra already finding the first kill onto Joe. Carpe coming in with a flank, but he's shooting it largely into the Winston bubble. Has to force out the recall as the self-destruct does come out, but Spree will fall as he was never able to get back into his mech. And now Shadowburn does answer back, but with that, Selfless fight on back, and they're only going to allow Faze Clan 36% before they flip it back.
Not 50% built up for themselves. It's not just trying to get aggressive, maybe work towards that pulse bomb, because they know they're going to be down a couple of ultimates here. It's going to be tough, but it's definitely possible for them to maintain this point, especially the position that they already do have. And as Shadowburn trying to push in on the point, it's going to be difficult as a Pharah to do that when you have a soldier like Carpe already able to just shoot him out of the sky. As you can see, Carpe just trying to spot out where he's going to be, and smartly enough, you have Midnight there to help protect the backline from these rockets coming through.
Yeah, Sinatra winning the 1v1 against Louis, and it looks like Louis has been struggling in that matchup. Now, Carpe and Sinatra were dropped a little bit low, but they are just going to be able to kite back away. Sinatra dropped down about 1 HP, but he wins that battle against Joe Meister. Here's the self-destruct coming out from Midnight. Nothing that time, but it's all Sinatra in the kill feed as he D-Mech Spree, takes him out, finds a 3rd onto Fact Fiction, and Sinatra has been putting Selfless on his back and jumps off the ledge there.
Carpe with the combo breaker, actually, for Sinatra's kill streak, and Sinatra's like, I still wanted that last kill, so I'm gonna kill myself. It still counts. But he'll get back to the point quick enough. They have a lot of ultimates to use too. Shadowburn's gonna try to use his barrage here, but Raucus, that's something you have to watch. He's not in line of sight at all. He didn't get the sound bear because he's looking for the res.
Yeah, he goes for it, but it was inside. He only picks up Carpe as Michael 3D will clean him up. Emong with that Primal Rage finds the kill onto Joe Meister now. Pulse Bomb came out, didn't quite connect, but Ruckus comes in, 2-man res, and this should put them in the advantage here. Transcendence does come out on the side of Selfless though, and with Sinatra once again, getting the D-Mech onto Spree, cleans him up, and Sinatra's just been a one-man army.
Problem is that res that came through to Ruckus didn't catch Jamerson, so they had no healing. They had nothing to stop Michael to Transcendence either, which allowed Selfless to just snowball that fight and eventually take it, even though they did lose 1 or 2 people in the mix of that. Selfless coming up strong here. Faze kind of likes little adaptations here or there, but Sinatra's just proven to be a beast that no one should mess with.
And so while the opening volley coming out from FaZe Clan with that Pharah did prove successful, I mean, you had mentioned they just weren't able to follow up and gave up the first point. But how do you feel about Shadowburn and Ruckus with that pharmacy?
I don't know, to be honest. Excuse me. I think Midnight has been putting out work to actually mitigate a lot of the damage that he can do. I just feel like giving... I mean, Shadowburn's a good Pharah, but he's such a bigger playmaker when he's on, like, a Genji. And it's a little bit, for me, a shame to see him not playing that one. Obviously, Louis can do it too, but I want to see him on more of a playmaking hero, and Pharah can be really hit or miss sometimes.
So, you got your wish. He's actually going on over to the
Carpe.
Tracer. Louis swapping on over for Carpe. He's on this Widowmaker.
He's looking for the Pharah. He's specifically looking for it. He's not going to have the opportunity to shoot it because we're not going to see Shadowburn playing it. I did see Carpe streaming with Calvin the other night, and his Widowmaker was a little bit left to be desired, but then again, Solicu's a lot different than comp play.
Also,
and I was waiting for him to prove me wrong right there, so I look like a major idiot, but luckily he didn't hit that shot to Louis.
Yeah, he's still acclimating, you know, that was his first few days here in North America. Now the point has unlocked, but it is being contested by both sides right now. Neither really trying to break the line of scrimmage here. A little peekaboo action coming out from the Selfless side, and now they decide to pull the trigger. They jump right on top. He was booped away, but Louis is the first one to go down. Sinatra and Carpe coming in. Jamerson falls. That's the man advantage for the side of Selfless.
I'm not sure why FaZe Clan actually held that line of scrimmage, because when you have a Widow on the enemy team, and you have a Tracer of Sinatra's caliber, you're leaving yourself open to be either hit by the Widowmaker or flanked by the Tracer.
And
you
both
had to make your push.
And both happen there, Jason, and they're going to force them back into their spawn. It's going to be Selfless once again, taking the point first up against FaZe Clan. Now Pulse Bomb comes out and it sticks onto Jamerson. Sinatra able to get that in pure Sinatra fashion too.
You still hear him saying, hiya. They're just emoting away, but they're holding the back. Now, obviously, FaZe Clan doesn't want to push into this when they know that Carpe has the info side up. So instead of feeding over ult percent or feeding over some early kills, they're just going to back off, wait for that to wear off, and push back in again. I'm surprised though Carpe's not in a different position though, a little bit on the high ground so he can get more information. So if they do dive onto him, he should have had his hook reset already up.
I guess he just didn't want to risk it or just play some awkward angles that people aren't used to. He does go for the grapple, jumps away, and kites from that Winston to try to jump right on top of him, gets a few tags onto him, but now he's getting focused down. He's going to survive for now as the sound barrier came out. It wasn't enough to keep Sinatra alive, though. Midnight forces out the mech. Carpe goes for another grapple shot, but he hasn't been able to connect with it quite yet. He's still getting pestered down by Shadowburn, but Shadowburn hasn't been able to kill him, which is the big thing.
He's been stalling for time, and that's allowing like Sinatra to maybe get a good position to pick up some kills, but they've already lost out on 2. Louis getting a third on the Midnight will eventually turn the point over here for FaZe Clan. And watching Carpe play the Widow right there just really hurt my arm, because he plays at a super low sensitivity. He plays with his entire mouse pad, his entire arm, and to be able to have to turn around like that so often, it's got to be tiring.
So Selfless, they were able to get 73% on the board. Laid it out a good amount. Carpe still on that Widowmaker. Yeah, definitely don't want to peek that. You don't want to risk anything at this point if you're FaZe Clan.
No, but Spree's actually still desuited. He's only at 90%. He's actually very low in HP. If somehow Sinatra can get this kill, it would be huge. But Sinatra goes down to Fact Fiction. They could have kept that desuit. It would have had them at advantage, and there would have been no diva to mitigate the shots that Carpe's trying to go for. So just going to juke them out here, try to get some distance. Oh, the desuit almost back in again for Spree. That's going to be finally Midnight able to come around to help him out, and Shadowbird's gone down.
Yeah, that was the self-destruct coming out from Spree there, as the Transcendence is going to get popped by Selfless now. They are pushing on to the point, 35% for FaZe Clan, but they just haven't found a target quite yet. Michael 3D has to be careful. He's got the Orb of Discord onto the Winston. Fact Fiction falls.
You might wonder if that trance was maybe a little bit too early, a little bit preemptive, maybe save it for an ultimate out of Louis, but you have to keep in mind on this point of Oasis, there's so much terrain, so many things to hide behind, so many walls, that you don't necessarily need that Transcendence to out-heal the damage. You can just avoid him for the most part, especially when you have Midnight, Playing the diva here. Oh, Jamerson gonna get taken out before he even has a chance to get back to the point. And with that kill, that's gonna delay him to about 98% before he respawns and gets back with the team.
Yeah, so Carpe with a pretty big pick off there, but it's 94%, so they don't have him there. Sinatra comes in, and now it looks like Selfless might have just secured the second point here on Oasis. Even Spree coming in, he got DMAC'd real early on. Sinatra is the primary person on the kill feed for the side of Selfless. I want to say he was a 75% contributor to most of these eliminations.
I mean, maybe even higher at this rate, too.
Yeah.
We're going to finally see Shadowbird try to come in contest, but it will not be enough. I swear, Sinatra is trying to perform when the time counts when I'm watching him because he knows he can be replaced for the Overwatch World Cup. He's like Big Daddy Jason or Jeff. I mean, they call me Jeff all the time.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, thanks, man. Doesn't want to replace. Doesn't want to replace him, so good on him. Sinatra for really showing up. But it makes me wonder, though, right? With how well Selfless is playing so far in this match or in this series, what happened in their other games that they lost?
No, again, Team Liquid and CLG, they've been on the up and up. They've been performing better and better.
Yeah, I'm not denying that, but like, Selfless looks so damn strong. That I mean, I'm not saying, CLG and Liquid aren't good, but I expected Selfless with this kind of play, if they were pulling this off in those initial two matches, that the storylines would be different.
Well, they've already got one map on FaZe Clan. They're 2 more away from putting their first win on the board as we do move on to University. And yeah, McCree coming out. And we do notice that, like, the Koreans love to play their McCree. Cowboy coming on out this time. Carpe pushing into the left-hand side in that mini health pack room as FaZe Clan with the holding pattern right on outside. Point not unlocked quite yet.
Shadowbird is on the Genji, and Louis is going to be on the Tracer. Shadowbird already below half HP as Carpe is able to swing out. Jamerson gets connected with the headshot, but Carpe can't follow up with the second. But Rockets has already gone down. The distractions coming in from the front line of Selfless is allowing Sinatra so much freedom. As finally Louis able to kill him, and if you can get that kind of freedom as a Tracer, you're going to have such an easy day and so many easy kills. Shadowbird just trying to dodge away from this one. Eventually he will go down, and Selfless will take the point again.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed about a lot of the Korean hit scan players is that when the pressure's applied to them, it becomes a bit more difficult for them to actually connect on the shots. But when you have someone like Sinatra on your team to really enable you, get into the back line, distract them, and create that much space for you, they're able to succeed. Look at Carpe, he's on McCree. He's at 84% towards his Deadeye.
He's being protected very well by his team, too. Actually trying to force FaZe to come onto the point. I think putting a lot of emphasis on this man, allowing Sinatra to play as he likes. But you have to have a lot of confidence in Sinatra to not die, because if he drops, then that's a 6v5 fight. That's a fight you shouldn't really be able to win.
Look at how Selfless were just moving as a group. They saw Louis going for a really wide flank, and they just moved around. Pulse Bomb came out, Sinatra taking out both supports by himself. And at this point, Carpe can just do whatever he wants, because Sinatra's just going 5v1.
Well, the point was turned because Selfless did push off to finish off those kills. But it doesn't matter, they're going to cap it back over. We're going to give up, like, what, 13%? 11%. Good job, Jason. It's not like I can see the percent on the screen or anything like that. So they're going to recap it. It's really not big of a loss for them as they're going to continue to stack up this map. And they have too many ultimates, actually. I don't think Shadowbird's going to be effective at all.
Well, they do have that transcendence behind it if they want to go for that combo just to keep them alive. But it's going to be very difficult. Remember, you do have to still deal with the flashbang, and Sinatra, once again, starts it off with a pick on the fact fiction.
And he didn't even have Pulse Bomb.
Nope.
It was just Discord and some damage. I think a right click out of Michael 3D to allow that one to happen. So now FaZe Clan, what they're doing, they're trying to look for the pop on the Transcendence to allow Shadowburn to go big with his ultimate. They do have their own Trance, yes, but the thing is, a Deadeye, you don't stop a Deadeye with Trance. You don't stop a Pulse Bomb with Transcendence. So that ultimate's not going to be too effective unless you're just trying to mitigate some damage and keep people alive.
Yeah, Midnight just jumps right in front of him with the defense matrix, but he's able to connect onto Jamerson. Transcendence getting popped, but Shadowburn now with the Dragon Blade. Found 2. Is he going to get a 3rd? It doesn't matter. Fact Fiction cleans up Carpe, and now FaZe Clan finally winning a team fight here. Will be able to take the point, but they're still stalling out on the side of Selfless.
Well, they use a Transcendence to keep Carpe alive in the midst of his Deadeye. Problem was, there wasn't that many targets for him to kill during this. So it did allow Shadowburn to pick up those kills and then Fact Fiction to help clean up. So good job by FaZe Clan here. But now can they hold on to the point? It almost feels like a matter of time. Sinatra just hasn't been missing Pulse Bombs, and he's been able to pull off these 1v1s. And even honestly, like 1v3s, where he still gets a kill and gets away. Something that should never really happen.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get that opening frag again. Create that space for Carpe. but he will actually go down. This time it's going to be to Raucous. Louis connecting with the pulse bomb onto the hack and will force them back once again. Selfless, they have all the time in the world to work with. Louis might have gotten caught out, but no, he'll actually survive through that and force Midnight all the way back into spawn. They got like, decently like 2 more fights in them to get it back, but right now Faze Clan's starting to work on their ultimates, right? They've got the Transcendence coming up, they've got the Primal Rage, and so they're on par so far with Selfless.
We got nothing offensive though, that's the problem. They have like 2 support-ish ultimates with Fact Fiction with the Primal Rage who can actually just knock them into these walls and pick up those kills, but there's a Transcendence gonna be popped. Keep them alive for now here, but Shadowburn's already been dropped because he wasn't really able to be healed at all. Raucous goes down to Michael, and now Selfless, on the verge of finishing off this map with just a couple more kills to go, are looking at 2-0 scoreline.
That was just great isolation coming out from Emong, right? He pops his Primal Rage, gets both supports in the right-hand corridor there, forces out the Transcendence just so he can stay alive, and now Selfless just cleaning up as the hack takes out his counterpart. Shadowburn tries to jump onto the point, but he's got a Winston right on his face. Emong just might be able to clean him up. It is actually going to be Sinatra taking out Fact Fiction there. Shadowburn gets the kill onto Sinatra, but man, things are looking bad so far.
No reflect on his high noon, ready to go for Carpe, and he's set up in a position to use. He's going to pop this one to use it to zone them off the point here. The overtime's taken away. Someone has to touch it. Someone's going to have to give up their life for this, but no, Shadowburn! He gets the reflect from the side, gets the Dragon Blade out. Michael's going to fall. Jamerson chimes in, and his Faze Clan going to turn this around.
Oh man, that Deadeye just working completely against Selfless there. Now the point did flip on over for them, 8%. They're gonna have to make a mad dash for this. That's why we're seeing them holding at the choke points here, making sure no one gets in. But at this point, looks like they are able to contest. No, they were not. Unfortunately, Spree getting the kill onto Emong there just put a stop to them. So now the reverse sweep starts for Faze Clan.
It's a bold statement here. It's a bold statement, Cotton. Let's see how it works out. Actually is like the 13th anniversary of Dodgeball today.
It is.
Yes. That's why I've been trying to make some references to it.
Average Joe's
versus the Purple Cobras.
Versus the Purple Cobras. I wish,
I wish
the
the
camera's not even on. Why did I even try that?
To be fair now, you have to do that on camera when it comes back to us. If you all have not seen the movie, well, you're missing out on something great. But I think, like for you, you're watching another great show here as it's going to be Selfless against Faze Clan on Oasis. This Faze Clan is trying to fight back, trying to pull this one back to maybe tie things up at 1 apiece, but they still have a while to go. And Carpe's not going to make it this time, unfortunately, Jamerson.
Yeah, and so, you know, dipping into their hero pool now, Shadowburn, once again on this Genji, that proved successful for them on University, and so they are going to go for that. I believe he was on 76 the last time they were here, but now he should be a lot more impactful. We saw what he can do with those blades, just turn around fights. Now we have the engagement coming out from the side of Faze Clan. Fact Fiction dropping really low. He's about 50 HP. He's going to be the first one to go down once again. That's going to be Sinatra, but Raucous comes on back. Headshot onto Dahak.
Well, I mean, yeah, he comes back with a kill, but the problem is they've lost too many people. Carpe gets the DC on the Spree, gets the kill on the loot, the Helix Rocket, and Shadowburn's just not able to do all the work himself. But, you know, to be fair, though, Raucous is able to get some decent damage and some kills. The pressure applied to him is insane. So what we need to see out of Faze Clan is keep their backline alive. Sinatra's been able to penetrate too many times, has been able to pick off too many supports and too many people in these one-on-ones. That should just not be happening.
Yeah, now the point did go over to Faze Clan, so they got 20%, but Carpe's got this tactical visor getting largely eaten up by the Diva, but that will force them back long enough for Selfless to actually flip the point.
Shadowburn, though, he's got Blade. Michael doesn't have Trance. The Hack doesn't have his barrier. So Shadowburn has the perfect opportunity here to actually pick up some kills and help turn this point back around. I think just about Sinatra right above him, but with Blade ready to go, Selfless have to respect this one. More importantly, Sinatra needs to not die off the bat. If they keep Shadowburn a little bit low on life. Oh, what? Sinatra just comes around the corner and kills him. There's going to be no Blade now, and Selfless is going to be able to hold the point, ideally.
Yes, Sinatra does go down for his effort. Midnight forced out of his mech by Jamerson. So now the Transcendence comes out on the side of Faze Clan. That's going to be the sound barrier answered in kind by Selfless. But as that Transcendence goes away, Jamerson will pop his own. Now they are pushing forward with that shield advantage, but no kills coming of it quite yet. Selfless doing a really good job of kiting backwards.
Double support ultimates to use out of Faze Clan to try to take this point back. That's a little bit risky, but the Hack goes down. Sinatra's able to turn things with the kill on Jamerson, but Shadowburn, where's this man? This visor to Carpe doing some decent work, but finally the blade comes out of Shadowburn to slice and dice his way through Carpe, through Emong, and through Sinatra. And Faze Clan will turn this point back at about 60-ish%.
Yeah, Midnight tried to contest for as long as he can, but he went down, and that's what we're talking about. Shadowburn being on this high-impact hero once again on Genji. That really brought him all the fame that he was known for really early on, but now they are playing a little bit behind, right? They're at 40% almost, Selfless at 60, but there are no ultimates really on the side for Selfless.
Yeah, I mean, they committed a lot of them just to hold the point here. Look at Sinatra, he's just dodging a lot of these orbs coming his way from Raucus. Kind of funny, he's playing against his teammate from the USA National Overwatch team, but he gets the 1v1 again. Like, Raucus is not being protected. It's not his fault he constantly keeps dying, but you need to see Spree protect him to be more of a defensive diva, because Sinatra's too big of a threat, and you have to have some sort of response for him.
Yeah, but the D-Mech comes out, Spree forced out of the Diva Mecha, and once again, Selfless just cleaning up FaZe Clan. They'll get about 68 there. Selfless looking to even it out. Now, you really are right.
Well, I want to be fair, though, because to be fair to Spree, he's got Sinatra to watch out for, and he has Carpe. And when you're a diva, you can't obviously use defense matrix in a 360-degree angle. So he has to choose between both of them. It's just that when Carpe is such a threat, and Sinatra are both such a threat, you have to choose your battle. And unfortunately, they're just not able to keep Raucus alive either way.
Yeah, we saw Sinatra facing off against Louis. Oh, the stick comes out. No. Louis will just have to back away there. Selfless. They still maintain control of the point. It's at 90%. Sound barrier gets used by the hack, and now they punish Fact Fiction for jumping in. He had that primal rage, but he wasn't ready for the burst damage. Tactical visor will get used. Carpe trying to chase down that tracer, but wasn't able to finish her off. There we go. Carpe finishing it off, taking out Louis. And now the man advantage coming on now. But Shadowburn has that Dragon Blade. Once again, finds one kill. It's onto Michael 3D. As the self-destruct comes out, Spree connects onto Emon. Got the D-Mech also onto Midnight. Now they are starting to run out of HP on the side of Selfless.
I think people forgot where that self-destruct was coming. The pulse bomb to come through. It's just... Actually, no, wait. It did kill Jamerson somehow. I think that the subsidiary damage from that was able to finish him off. But the problem is they don't have enough people on the point, or enough people alive to hold this point in their hands. FaZe Clan will turn things around.
So we're coming down to the wire here. One more fight, really. Selfless needs to take this next one. All they really have is that self-destruct for Midnight, but there's nothing on the other side for FaZe Clan to respond with. Louis can build up this pulse bomb. We'll see if he can get that clutch 2-3-man pulse bomb just to finish out this fight.
Maybe. I mean, he's going to need it. The self-destruct's going to be almost useless, though, to at least position themselves in a different spot. Oh, that's actually could have been amazing, but if the hack to push Fact Fiction into that self-destruct. These Discord orbs are coming in so perfectly out of Michael 3D to allow Carpe to become more of a threat. Obviously focusing targets down left and right, but Shadowburn finishes him off here, and it's looking good for FaZe Clan. The 3 kills coming through might be enough. FaZe Clan, can they take a second map?
Yeah, Sinatra getting close to his pulse bomb, but he's got no one else near him. He will fall, and now we're going to round 5 here on Oasis. FaZe Clan running it back so far against Selfless.
This reminds me of a really epic match we've had in the world of sports between Average Joes and the Purple Cobras, where they were down with one man, Peter LaFleur, the last man alive.
They threw a 4-man lead.
They did.
Yeah.
Well, they threw a 2-map lead here, Selfless. This FaZe Clan are coming back into this.
Well, was it a throw, or was just Shadowburn showing up so far with this Genji? When he gets those blades, he's so deadly. Just game changer. Now, it looks like we're going back to University for our final point.
And Carpe's not going to be playing McCree. It seems to soldier yet again. Don't want to use what worked the first time, I guess. Well, let's see. Everyone else pretty much running the same heroes. Yeah, I mean, I was really confused to see the Pharah out of Shadowburn. I wonder if we're going to see it maybe later on, though. I would imagine onto the next maps, maybe not as likely. But they've definitely seemed to have figured Selfless out a little bit. Even with Raucus going down time and time again, they've been able to at least kill everyone else from Selfless. And Carpe has actually switched the soldiers to McCree.
He's back on this McCree. I mean, he wasn't making any flashy plays. He was getting damage down. Wasn't really on that kill feed. It was largely Sinatra last time. So we'll see if they can find out how to make this work. Michael 3D comes in, takes out Joe Meister. That's huge.
You see Sinatra there being forced back, but it doesn't matter. Fact Fiction is going to go down because he was a little bit too far pushed up. And Shadowburn's not going to be able to do too much by himself here, because eventually he will be finished off. The point will be taken for Selfless. A good initial start here. And again, I just wanted to point out one thing that I kind of tried to mention last time, was that Michael and Carpe, considering, you know, they're speaking different languages, pretty much, have been able to really focus the right targets. When he was playing Soldier, every time he would attack Fact Fiction on the Winston, there was always Discord target, or there was always a Discord on him, which allowed Carpe to just shred through him in that one clip with the Helix rocket. So, some good communication between the supports and the DPS players. Carpe's been pretty damn impressive so far.
Yeah, one real big thing we have to notice here is that the hack has that sound barrier while Jamerson is still working on his, so they are pushing forward. Emong needs to get healed up though. He's so low. Shadowburn tried to go for the blade, but didn't find anything of it. Pulse bomb kills getting exchanged, but Louis getting the better of it, was able to get the D-Mech onto Midnight, but gets answered with a headshot for his troubles.
Shadowburn trying to run away here. Primal Rage will be coming in with the Transcendence too out of Michael. So he's able to keep Carpe alive. He's going to feed so much 0% from Fact Fiction in that Primal Rage form. Selfless will take the point back here to get up to that 30% mark in just a few seconds. Faze Clan only at 21. And Rockets does have his Transcendence. But again, Transcendence does not stop the Deadeye. It does not stop the Pulse Bomb.
Yeah, one of the things that might be working towards the detriment of Selfless, especially here on University, is how they give up the point, right? We've seen it flip during the team fight, and then Selfless coming in for a retake after the end of the team fight. As we saw Faze, they pick up 21%, and that might be a crucial 20%, as Selfless are trying to play more of a death volley style.
Fact Fiction dives in. Oh, Louis somehow dodged away from that flashbang. I'm not sure exactly how he did that. He gets a return kill on Carpe to make him pay for that miss. And Faze Clan looking good to take the point back yet again.
Yeah, here on University, we're used to like long, drawn-out team fights, but once again, Selfless was off the point. Take a look at how close that Faze were to taking the point before they even ended the fight. And so at least Selfless were able to get on there and try and draw out the fight a little bit longer. That got them to 69%, but Faze now has control. But there are a lot of ultimates on the side of Selfless here.
They really are. You got the sound barrier, which is going to be very crucial. But Emong, I think, he can knock away Spree. It'll allow Carpe to get the full channel off on the Deadeye. And they might want to invest something to actually keep him alive. But with the hack dropping already, they're actually going to lose the opportunity to keep Carpe alive. This is going to be a tough Deadeye, because it's going to force them back around the corner.
Yeah, there's Spree right on top of him. He will be forced out of his mech. He tried to go for that deflect. Did Shadowburn. Carpe picks up the kill. Now they're pushing forward. Our Selfless Primal Rage is going to get used by Fact Fiction just to back them all off. And, you know, I don't disagree with it at all. The Zenyatta is not there to put the orb on him. Now he does fall back, and he's going to get healed up by his team. 70% on the board for Faze. Shadowburn, he's got that Dragon Blade ready.
He's got the blade, but Michael's got the trance ready. As long as Michael doesn't get it forced out early on, which is a sound barrier to force the engagement. Shadowburn is just waiting for this trance to be popped so he can go in, but that defensive ultimate of Rockets is going to help keep them alive for now. The Selfless can be thrown out and right down the hole. That's a hole-in-one, yes, but that's not the hole-in-one you're looking for, son. You didn't get any kills with that one. And now, Michael, you've got your trance. You might as well use it this rate because this is your last fight. No!
Oh.
Carpe! He misses the flashbang shots on the Spree. He gets the resuit. And Faze Clan, I think they're going to take this point.
Yeah, 95, 96. Shadowburn's got the blade. He runs into their spawn. He gets focused down, but while on the point, Rockets was able to get the kill onto the hack.
They've lost too many people though. Selfless are just falling like dominoes. And Faze Clan, the reverse sweep that you pointed out earlier on, Jamerson, is going to come true. They're going to pull back Oasis and tie things up at 1 apiece.
Wow.
I don't know what to say. Those were some major misplays at the end. Carpe, you have Spree flashbangs. You have to hit those shots. You're a McCree. That's your whole kit. That's like not knowing how to dash over and over again as a Genji. And then, of course, we did see, I think it was Midnight with a self-destruct that led it down the hole. I mean, yeah, gold. All right, good for you, man. But you didn't get any kills, and that entire ultimate was wasted.
Yeah, I think it was just a proper adjustment coming up for Faze. You know, that pharmacy not really quite working out for them. Put Shadowburn on something that he's much more comfortable with, and we saw the impact that he was actually able to apply onto this map.
Well, and especially in such a haphazard game, because these teams, they look like they've been battered throughout the day, and now they're just tossing out ultimates left and right. It's very scrappy fights, even compared to other Oasis matches that we've seen. But I got to give it to Shadowburn. He knows how to play Genji, and I think that Louis started coming a lot more online with Tracer, and maybe even just as that secondary threat enables Shadowburn even more.
I'm kind of wondering what... I mean, no, I agree. I'm just thinking about like kind of how Faze Clan's mentality was. Like start with a Far Mercy. It didn't really work on Nibani. Why wouldn't it necessarily work again on Oasis? They get the point eventually. They had the position on the point in the beginning, even that initial kill on Zenyatta onto Michael, but they weren't able to take the point. And I think after that initial moment, they're like, all right, you know what, forget the Far. It's just not working. The Mercy's not working either because of the pressure that's being applied by Carpe on the Soldier and Sinatra on the Tracer. But Shadowburn, I mean, it's a strategy. It's not really broken. His Genji, it's still one of the best in the world, and yet they're